Alright, we're back for the Universe 8 God of Destruction, Liquor. Now I'm gonna be 100%. This was the one I had by far the most difficulty with. Now, the reason for this is his supering pattern and the fact that he can double super. There was many times where, you know, I would get an opening rotation of like Namek Goku, Tech Ultimate Gohan, and into UI, and you think, oh okay, look, all of these units are decent defensively, 2 of them have type advantage, no matter what happens I'll be fine. So you put, I don't know, Tech Ultimate Gohan in slot 1, you trust him the most, he's taken voice supers, my one's taken 30k, something like that. I mean, probably less, probably more like 15k. It's somewhere around that range though. He's not exactly taking double digits straight away. Gets supered straight away, takes about 200k, which you notice on this team is about half my HP. And then he's taken 60k per normal. Same thing with Namek Goku. They just don't start out with enough defense, and because he lowers defense, you're taking a lot of damage. Int UI just can't take damage. Mine's 55%. I've never pulled him more than once. Until he transforms, he's a complete defensive L. Like, his stacking does nothing, and obviously he doesn't dodge until he transforms. So I was just having a lot of difficulties with this one. This one took me 4 days to beat, and once I actually beat it, guess what? I wasn't recording. So then it took me another 2 days to beat it again with the same team. Because I'd already made the thumbnail, and then I was like, with like Evolution Blue Vegeta on it, I think, and then I was like, oh hey, I wasn't recording, and I was so mad, because I was thinking, you know, I could have all these videos already done, and then start like recording the voiceovers and the editing and stuff, but no. So, Liquor is entirely to blame. I got quite lucky on my original winning run. Tech Ultimate Gohan was double supering at every turn, and he finished the event with like 500k defense, which means even if he got supered, he was taking no damage. So looking at the team, I decided to use Evolution Blue Vegeta's team because I just needed to pack as many like decent int units on there as possible. Granted, I did try this with Margin Vegeta's team, but I was just like, I was too scared about using that team, because obviously that team really needs a Trunks on it, and there's no good int Trunkses that, at least as far as I'm aware, that I have. The only int Trunks I have that's even awakened is the free-to-play one, who's not good. So I was left with either physical Trunks or tech Trunks, and I just don't think, if either of them got super attacked, we were instantly going to die. So I thought the best is, I did try a run with that team and it went okay. I still died anyway, but I decided the risk of having like a Trunks on the team who at any point while floating, because what Liquor really likes to do, and this is why I died so many times, is he likes to super in slot 1, whether it's before or after you attack, and then he likes to super in slot 3 at the end, and a lot of runs died because of that. Even if we had Tech Khalifa in slot 1 dodging it, the guy in slot 3 would just take so much damage that it would basically cause our death, because, you know, this team doesn't really have any healing, because I wasn't really sure what sort of healing unit I could bring. You know, I couldn't and I wasn't going to bring STR Vegito. I wasn't going to bring Tech Caulifla, and I was not going to bring Tech Gogeta, so we just didn't really have any, like, options. Or at least I didn't, to be fair, I was sort of like I was really determined to beat it with this team. I wanted to, because I didn't use Evolution of Vegeta in my Catella runs, but I wanted to use him. I wanted to make use of Namek Goku, who he does really good damage, but his like main issue is his defense. He starts out defensively very weak, especially my 69% one. So like for most of these runs, for literally the whole run, I keep him in slot 2. But that means he's only doing 1 super per turn, and so he's not stacking up very fast either. So we're just left with this situation where he's just sat there stacking up in the middle. He's doing relatively decent damage, but even with that chance to additional in the middle, he just doesn't do it that often for me in this run especially. So it was like, he was there, he could tank normals after his first like 2 supers, but taking a super attack on him would do a lot of damage until he was at like 250k defense plus. I was lucky in both my winning runs. He either didn't double super at all, or he double supered only like once. So we didn't really have to worry about that most of the time, which was lucky. Lucky in a lot of my later runs, for whatever reason, he just decided he didn't want to double super. It's fine. That's good actually. In some of the runs, he decided to start spamming supers in slot 2, which is a bit strange, but wasn't a huge issue. But like, as for other units, I used in Evolution of Vegeta, my one being 55%, 10 super attack, like level 5, 6, 7 links. He's not the best defensively. If he builds up his damage reduction, he would be able to tank super okay, but he's really just here for the leader skill and the active skill, and then he could be used for a revive if it came down to it, but it wasn't. Namek Goku, good damage. He can get to decent defensive levels, but it just takes a while. Tech Ultimate Gohan is obvious. He does a couple supers and he's a defensive wall and can't take damage. His damage is very bad though. That is especially because most of these runs I run him in slot 2, because obviously you want to run Tech Khalifa in slot 1. I used both Tech Khalifas on this fight because I was not taking any chances. I didn't want taking super attacks on any unit was like a death sentence for me. So trying to avoid 2 supers as much as possible was what I was doing. Int UI, he's an int unit. He was on the team. His damage is not very impressive. I was just sort of banking on getting him to transform, but I don't think we managed to in this run. Or at least if we do, it's right at the end. For most of the run where we just don't take enough damage because all the super attacks are aimed at Tech Khalifa. It just leaves it so that he's left untransformed, so I kind of had to hide him a lot of the fight because untransformed he is just a defensive 0 even in this fight. But yeah, I mean that's most of the team. I mean in all my other runs I've gone over Tech Khalifas, just defensive gods in these stages, just make it a lot easier. But yeah, this was definitely the one I had the most trouble with, and it was the same for when I originally fought him as well, when he originally came out. The hardest boss is supposed to be Belmod, with his locking, his sealing, and his just the ridiculously huge amount of damage he does on his super attack. But instead, in both my original runs when Belmod first came out, and here in these runs, Belmod just wasn't a huge issue. But back originally when I first did this, and now, Liquor was definitely the hardest. By far the one I've lost to the most, and it was definitely just because of his double supering. it was a huge problem, especially during the original anniversary, because I never pulled Evolution Lugia, who, I mean, even 55% is still he still helps in this stage because he has type advantage. Whereas, obviously originally I think I used AGL UI Goku, but here I wasn't going to take the chance, because if he doesn't dodge even normals in this stage, he's taking like 70 to 100k, which is, it's too much damage to sustain when you only have 400k HP. It's just, I just didn't have enough HP to tank those hits. So I thought it best not to even take the risk, though I might have found it a bit easier if I used him, but I decided in this case that I wouldn't, just because I didn't want to take the risk for the tech boss, because I think I did bring him once, and he got instantly supered, and he didn't dodge, and he took like 800k, and I died. So, you know, and when you've got 3 runs per day, you can't always afford to take those chances, where if they dodge, you're fine, if they don't dodge, you're dead, sort of thing. So I thought it best just try and bring a team which, you know, could effectively deal with the fact that you can double super. But yeah, alright, so obviously now I'll just show the units and how I built them and their stats and stuff, and yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one.